Since the coronavirus hit hard in March, the whole schedule was cancelled or postponed. For the moment, there's some light at the end of the tunnel as the athletes are out of hibernation and raring to go. Temperatures not too bad, it's 17 degrees. 40 kilometers an hour winds, shouldn't be too much problem. The major problem has been international travel restrictions as we see the schedule for this Saturday afternoon. Starting off with the K1 Women's 200 meter Final A. Finishing with the men's 500 meter K1 final. Plenty of action to get through. And while several of the leading athletes haven't been able to make it to Hungary for this three-day event, many World Championship medalists have found their way to Szeged, competing in what will be the biggest international canoe sprint competition of 2020. First up, the K1 Women's 200 meter Final A. It will be hope for the home fans that have been able to make it in here. Blanka Kiss in amongst the final. See Maria Chasova Shorgik. Quite a lot of the field. See another home favourite, Anna Lutz. A lot of this field actually have made their mark. K2 200 meters. But with no World or Olympic champion Lisa Carrington amongst those missing. An opportunity for someone to make a name for themselves. Here is the form paddler, Natalia Podolskaya, finished top of her third semi-final and was the fastest in the grouping. Joanna Vasconcelos made her name at under 23 level. Three medals in the Euros, that too in K2 200. Well, it was the World Championships here a year ago in Szeged. The riders back out here. And away they go. Strong start initially from Lutz. Finding a number 2 lane. Just edging ahead of her compatriot. Strong ride so far. 9-8, but it's a very tight race. But it's Hungary in hopes with Anna Lutz, but can she find a strong finish? Just edging towards and just about pips it. Well, it was tight until the very end, but Anna Lutz waits for confirmation. She's looking hopeful. Well, the K2 200 bronze medalists at the World Championships here 12 months ago. Certainly an incredibly competitive K1 200 meter final. She just had the edge on her compatriot Blanka Kiss, another who together won bronze in the K2. This time out to the same boat and fighting against each other. Late surges for the line. But as is here from this screech of delight, what a start to the day's action. And it's Hungarian delight. Loose and Kiss took third place in the K2 200 meters together. It's Loose, who's all smiles here in the women's K1 200 meter final. And there is the final result. Anna Loose 40.99, just 0.04 ahead of Mara Wickbird of Sweden, with Joanna Vasconcelos edging into third. Out of the boat and into the national spotlight. Two successful competitions, consecutive years here in Szeged. Well, an ideal start. You can imagine what the furore might have been had they been able to have a full house here, but at least there has been spectators allowed into this event. Obviously not quite the noise and cheers you might have expected.
Well, a great race. How did you feel about it?
Thank you, it was very good. I did my best and now it was the winner place, so I'm very happy.
Thank you, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, no wonder she's delighted. Home victory to kick things off. Preparations. The athletes get the stretch on, some more relaxed than others. After a thrilling women's K1 200 meters, it's the men who will take to the water in a few minutes' time. Marko Drago Savljevic of Serbia, fastest in qualifying for the final. Serbian will certainly have plenty of tough competition as we look back with the women's K1. Podolskaya having been the fastest in the semi-finals, 43.19. Anna Luce had only managed 43.47, and yet the Russian, a Euro Games Baku silver medalist 5 years ago, was usurped by Anna Luce. She had to be patient, showing the tight nature of the finish, but here is when it was clear she knew she'd won. Well, it might not be bright sunshine here in Szeged, but it's a golden start for the Hungarians. I hope Kolos Madia might do similar. But certainly Drago Savljevic and Maxime Beaumont will be the ones in particular battling out, you'd imagine. The two fastest in qualifying for this final. Drago Savljevic, full 0.17 seconds faster than Beaumont, but this is when it really matters. Already two competitors who competed in the World Championship final last year here in Szeged. Italy's Manfredi Rizza and Sweden's Peter Menning only had enough to reach the B final. There is Maxime Beaumont, Olympic silver medalist at Rio, just pipped off the podium a year ago, fourth in the world. And there's Marko Drago Savljevic, two-time European gold medalist, although the last of those came 5 years ago. There isn't any Liam Heath here for the field to compete with. The MBE holder, the current Olympic and world champion. So a chance here some of wannabe champions to make a splash. Turas Seja was 8th a year ago in the World 19, one of 2 Lithuanians in this field. So very much lanes 4 and 5, the main focus. Can someone else come through in this K1 men 200 meter final? Produce a shock. Marko Novakovic is the 3rd fastest in qualifying. Marko Dragosavljevic is Serbian compatriot. Feels like French-Serbian battle for gold. So we're underway. It was a fast enough kickoff from Andrea Domenico Deliberto, Italian in 8, but the rest of the field starting to pick up some momentum. There is the big man, Dragosavljevic against Maxime Beaumont. That's how it was billed. Initially strong start from Di Liberberto. He's just getting pushed out here. It could be a surprise on. And I think it is Di Liberberto. What a ride from the Italian. Well, he looks certain, and certainly saw him make such a quick start. And just waiting for either Beaumont or Dragosavljevic to come through, and in the end, they never did. Look at the speed Liberto had from the off. Well, the Italian was only the 5th fastest in qualifying, but my oh my, he must have kept the powder dry because he lit himself on fire. Struggling was the Olympic silver medalist from 4 years ago. Certainly it's been a tough time for competitors in how to keep competitively ready. Dragosavljevic, 36.11 to qualify for this final, but in the end blown away by Andrea Domenico Di Liberto. There is the finishing line. A stunning victory. So I'm just sliding back there, and then the cheer.
You were incredible. How did you feel?
It's a very long race because the wind in the front.
You can see the delight, the Italian taking the goal, but Koloff, this is Madia taking a brilliant second. Well, Marko Dragosavljevic taking 3rd. He actually nicked a second off his time from the semi-finals, but not enough to get higher than bronze. And
Andrea, what an amazing race. You were incredible. How did you feel?
It's a very long race because the wind in the front do the race more hard, and the time is more or less 2 seconds more the normal race. So it's a very strong.
Wonderful, congratulations.
Thank you. And if it's possible, I dedicate it to my girlfriend, Marika.
She'd love that, thank you.
Thank you.
Better time to make a splash.
Minchia, gliel'ho sbloccato davanti.
Sei partito.
Ma l'ho preso in pieno.
Sì, ma sei partito sopra.
Sì.
Bravo.
Minchia, gliel'ho data.
Well, incredible to see the speed he managed to get from the off, especially talking about the strength of the wind in their face. One who dealt best with it. Real turn up for the books. Drago Savijevic expected to be on the podium, but a bit higher than third. Kolos Simaria, the brilliant second, but no one could live with the Italian who liberated himself and up onto the top of the podium. Next up, women back on the water. The C1 women 200 meter. It's the Canoes. They make their way here to the regatta. Certainly, big noise around lane 6. Nevin Harrison,
in your lane.
the American star.
3 minutes to the start. 3 minutes.
Teenager causing a major upset when she stormed to the women's C1 200 world title here in Szeged last year. One of the few athletes from outside Europe who have been able to enter this weekend. Certainly, the 18-year-old will need to be at her best to take gold. Last year's runner-up, Olesia Romasenko, so here in attendance.
Ladies, please come to the starting area in your lane. Please come to the starting area in your lane.
There she is in lane 3, the Russian.
2 minutes.
Fourth place last year, Maria Maillard of Chile, proving this is top quality field. Just a minute before they're able to have a go. But here is Nevin Harrison, 17 when she stunned the world a year ago. 18-year-old aiming to make it double delights here in Hungary. A couple of Spaniards, Maria Corbera, Antia Jacome, Stefanica Urso of Romania, making up the 9-strong field. Well, Harrison covered the course in 49.30 seconds to win by 0.44. With challenging headwinds. See if she has any chance of managing something similar.
Lane 1 forward please, lane 9 forward please, lane 7 forward please. Thank you ladies. Ready, set.
Underway, it's a very slow start from Stefanica Urso. Powerful from Antia Jacome. It's in the middle of the race. And Harrison started to pick up speed. She's even bulked up since a year ago. Big struggles for elsewhere. You see the middle of the field starting to push through. Harrison battling away with the Ukrainian Luzan. And Luzan seems to have the edge coming towards the finish. It's between those two, but Harrison right to the edge. Oh, it's an absolute nose between them. Harrison had to do a lot of work, but Luzan with a thumbs up. She waits and hopes. Has Harrison done enough to reel her in? Definition of a photo finish. Well, Luzan's reaction seems to suggest she has an inkling it's her. Certainly started strongly. Harrison slightly behind. You see her here having to make up a bit of space, but neck and neck to the final 50 meters or so. Nervous look across from Harrison, the golden girl a year ago. But is it to be Ukrainian Luzan to take the win? It's so tight. It looks like it could just be Harrison. Waiting for official confirmation. Time-wise, it looks like it could be a dead heat. You can see by the reactions, neither confident. How could they be? Certainly happy with the top two. Thumbs up between the ladies, but how will they be split? And it's Harrison by 0.02. She had to make up some ground on Mira Luzan, and by the tightest of margins. It's the world champion who nicks in to snatch gold here. And for the first time, the C1 200 meters will be at the Olympic Games. So Harrison preparing herself for what could be an amazing year. The Tokyo Games postponed until 2021, meaning for the first time ever, the Olympics and World Championships that will be held in Copenhagen will be held in the same year. As Roberto seems to be on the phone, likely to speak to his girlfriend that he dedicated his win to earlier in the day. Well, a couple of shocks in the first two races in the K1 200. In the women's finals, C1 eventually ended as expected, but it was certainly Harrison who was made to work very, very hard for it. Harrison who managed to beat Olesia Romasenko in the final a year ago. And again, as we wait for the K1 Women 200 meter medal ceremony. There'll be a lot of home interest as we look back over the C1 200 meter final. Harrison a clear favourite. She was pushed all the way, really had to dig deep. Stunning effort from the Ukrainian Luzan. In the end, just pipped. Still, to push the world champion that close should be a big level of pride for the Ukrainian athlete. Harrison beating Mira Luzan. Luzan herself, bronze medalist at the European Championships, but that was at C1 500 meters, so certainly showing she has an explosive nature as well. at the shorter distance,
Ladies and
just
gentlemen,
23 years of
medal awarding
age.
ceremony for K1 women 200
Certainly
meters.
making a splash here. Patiently waiting for the K1 women 200-meter medal ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, medal awarding ceremony for K1 women 200 meters.
Certainly Hungarian eyes on this medal ceremony. Phenomenal start for the hosts here.
Medal awarding ceremony for K1 women 200 meters. The medals are presented by Mr. José Perurena, President of the International Canoe Federation. Bronze medalist at the 2020 ICF Canoe Sprint World Cup, Joana Vasconcelos, representing Portugal.
Portugal with a bronze, the 29-year-old Vasconcelos. Under 23 level, she won a bronze at the Euros in Szeged. She does so again,
Silver
this time
medalist
at the World Cup
Wiberg,
event.
representing Sweden.
Moa Wickberg, another in this field that has had a bit more success at the K2 200 meters. She made the semi-finals at the 2019 Euros, now a silver medalist in the K1 200 meter.
Gold medalist Lutz Anna, representing Magyarország, Hungary.
A huge ovation for Anna Lutz, a K2 200 meter bronze medalist last year at the World Championships alongside Blanca Kiss. But it's Lutz who now takes center stage for herself. Golden smile to go with the medal round her neck.
Gentlemen, the medalists of the ICF Canoe Sprint World Cup in 2020.
A brilliant start
Congratulations.
to a brilliant weekend return of canoe kayak sprints. Szeged has a home winner to splash over the papers tomorrow. A stunning ride, upsetting Natalia Poroskaya, who was fastest in the semis, the Euro Games Baku silver medalist, unable to even make the podium. Anna Lutz, who had been second quickest, upgraded to be the top woman in the K1 200 meter field. It'll be interesting to see how she might do in the Olympics next year. See the medalists from the World Championships last year weren't here. Lisa Carrington, Marta Gifsvich. Gold and silvers at Rio as well. She was the one to take the field by the scruff of the neck and warm up some of the chilly looking locals here in Szeged. There has been some competition springing up in the Russian Championships recently. This real marker for hopefully pathway to some normality during these difficult times. As mentioned, 2021 could be one spectacular year, the Olympics and the World Championships. both in the same year, Tokyo 2021 and the World Championships in Denmark, a month or so after the end of the Olympic Games.
So the next race is going to be the K1 1000 meter A final. It's going to start soon in 2 minutes.
So the K1 men's 1,000 meter final next. Bojan Zdedlar was the quickest in qualifying. The main focus will certainly be held by Balint Kopash, who was the toast of Hungary when he held off the world's best in this discipline to take the championship title in Szeged last year. The crowds won't be quite in their numbers to cheer him on quite the same, but several of last year's finalists also be on hand. Former world champion in 2019, bronze medalist Fernando Pimenta of Portugal certainly bring class to the fields as we see him dealing with the 14-kilometer or so winds. Certainly looking to make an impact, but here's the home hope. Balint Kopač, nervous in his graphic there, looking cool on the waters. Tour Peters of Belgium, and then it's the French hopes. Certainly Frenchman Etienne Hubert will be hoping he can make a splash. He was 8th in last year's World Final. Keen to perform with less than 12 months to go for the Olympic Games. Hopefully be held in Tokyo. So eyes on lanes 5 and 6. Fernando Pimenta and host rider Balint Kopač, but we've already seen shocks can come. It's actually not a bad start from Guillaume Berger. There is Pimenta and Kopač. So far it's a fabulous start for Berger. He's gone out hard, but looks like he may have run his race a little early. And it's Fernando Pimenta who is out in front. There's not much of a response from Kopač, but we're obviously switching from 200 to 1,000 meters. Have to be careful not to leave the powder dry for too long. Pimenta looking for a consistency of stroke. Try and keep himself at a fast pace, but Berger's not giving up hope. We see that Pimenta, Kopač, Berger and Varga. So there is a possibility of a Hungarian double on the podium, but it's looking easy as you like for former world champion Fernando Pimenta, and he is absolutely miles ahead, almost a boat length, as he keeps ahead of Adam Varga in lane 4 and Balint Kopač, the Portuguese, in that Hungarian sandwich, but so far he's not being squashed in. Well, does Kopač or anyone else have anything more to give? Certainly Berger going the wrong way. So up to the final 500 meters. Fernando Pimenta with just over 2-second lead. The Hungarians trying to push back, but it's Varga who has his nose in front of Kopač. But the Portuguese, former world champion, a bronze medalist here a year ago, is just absolutely gliding towards the top of the podium. He doesn't look like he has a care in the world, a boat length gap. As the fans cycle along the side of the water, they in the crowd here witnessing a dominant display. Well, coming into the final stretch, and now Balin Kopash really kicking it up. The gap just down, sub 2 seconds. Does the Hungarian Kopash have something left in the tank? Certainly getting excited as the noise levels rise, but for the moment Pimenta looking solid. It does look like Varga has the edge still on Kopash, but he's really picking up the pace, Kopash. Has he left it too late though? Well, he's picking up on Pimenta, but it's just too late. And the 2 second gap in the end was enough for Pimenta to hold off a disappointed looking Kopash. The Hungarian, the world's best 12 months ago, and he couldn't quite reel in Pimenta. Look at the intake of breath, as desperately trying to get some oxygen into those lungs. And in the end, a fast start and consistent pace has paid off perfectly for the Portuguese. Excellent start from Guillaume Berger, but over 1,000 meters. It's got to be more tactical, and he ran out of steam. Etienne Hubert, nowhere to be seen in battle for the podium. Kopash looked to be just waiting for his moment, but when it came, he did manage to pull close to the Portuguese. Just all too little too late. Pimenta in the end, still a comfortable nose across the line. And it will be Hungarian double, 2-3 on the podium, but it's the Portuguese smiler who will take the gold. Fist of joy as the 1 and 2 at this World Cup meet show their respects. A powerful Hungarian. You see Pimenta saying he knows how he feels. It's tough in these top class meets, but it's Fernando Pimenta who had a 2 second lead going into the final half, ending up still 0.24 ahead of Balin Kopash, the reigning world champion. But Hungary with a 2-3 on the podium. Adam Varga in the end 2.61 in arrears. A healthy lead over the rest of the field. Etienne Hubert only managing 5th in the end.
Fernando Pimenta, what a close race. How did you feel?
Yeah, I feel so happy because we are here in the first and the last competition of the season. It's hard here, I think, for all. And come to Hungary, Szeged, the home of Canoe, and won. I'm so happy, but I have two different feelings. See this size, I don't see a lot of people normally. We have here support, and we need I'm so happy to win back. Pimenta is back. This season, for me, it's so hard for the body, for the head, because I have very, very good moments in this preparation, but I have sometimes too much disappointed when I see some race going cancelled. But right now I'm happy and I'm ready to fight for a goal in 500 in 1 hour. And tomorrow I'm ready to finish this hard season with good results, good feelings, and give my best for the people support us, my family, my coach, my sponsors, and all canoeing family. It's what I give best show, and today I think we give the fantastic race, side by side, fighting until to the last meter, and it is what we can give the best.
Great, congratulations, Pimenta is back.
Thank you, Pimenta is back.
Well, he said it, tough year, but some rewards during a period of strife. Sad not to see stands packed. As he rightly called the home of Canoe Kayak here in Szeged, Hungary. Former world champion. Disappointing, the home fans. Muscle-bound hero of last year, unable to reel in Pimento. Kopash running out of time as Pimento is back. Undiluted joy for the Portuguese Pimenta, and it's the sun now that's come out to kiss the water, and Bella's kiss will be hoping to keep the Hungarian success rolling. And this the men's 1,000 meter C1 event. Quickest after the semi-finals. Sergei Tarnowski, saw Pavel Altukov, Yuri Nadyuk, the Ukrainian pair. So as we've seen, it all comes down to what you do in the final. It matters most. Underway, the C1 Men 1000 Final A. Already strong start in lane 5 from the Frenchman Adrien Barre. Steaming ahead to make a statement, but as we saw the previous, about the race in total, although in the end Pimenta was able to convert his 2-second lead. Adrien Barre hoping to improve on his performance a year ago here in Szeged, as he currently leads Carlo Taccini. Frenchman taking bronze in the C1 1000 final. Isaquias Queiroz of Brazil taking gold then. Also the Olympic silver medalist, Brazilian, sadly not here to compete. Poland's Tomasz Kaczor was the silver medalist 12 months ago. COVID obviously has affected particularly the international competitors from competing. Here's the split, Adrien Barr and Lydia Ruskin pushing on. Russian in lane 3. C 3, 4 and 5 at the moment in the podium places. Yeah, Fukian alongside Carlo Taccini. The Russian Ruskin hoping to reel in Barr. It's a bronze medalist at the 2012 Olympics. 29-year-old, 3-time medalist. World champions as well, but they all either C2 or C4. Last time he medaled at a C1. Certainly wasn't at the top level. Adrien Barr still trying to maintain the early pace he's set, coming under pressure. As you heard Paminta say, a lot of athletes are going to be doubling or tripling up over this weekend, but now Barr seems to be tiring. It's a real push from Sergei Tarnowski of Moldova, coming up on his blind side. Well, represented the Ukraine until 2013, switching to the blue, gold and red of Moldova. Was actually disqualified in the 2016 Rio Games in the C1 1000 meter final, but here it's nothing but joy. Well, he came under the radar, the Moldovan. Not wrong there, a huge finish from the 23-year-old, representing Moldova since 2014. And really, you can see almost the surprise, Shamshurin and others, as he burst through. Adrien Barr had led from the off, didn't have any diesel left in the tank. As Carlo Taccini had been there. I don't know if the wildlife got in Barr's way. As you can see, leading there, but there begins the power from Tarnowski. He's a youth gold medalist back in 2014 at the Sprint C1. And you see him with his arm raised. The roaring red Moldovan with a stunning finish, improving on the European Championship gold, the silver medal I should say, he won in Moscow in 2016 at C1 1000. Now a World Cup gold medalist here in Szeged. Frustration and disappointment from Adrien Barr. Carlo Taccini managing just to nick in front of the Frenchman. Finished second behind brilliant winner Sergei Tarnowski. Well, it's bronze again for Adrien Barr, as it was a year ago in the World Championships. It's this man who's trying to get his breath back.
Kayak.
We'll see him later on with the gold medal at the ceremony, and we'll hear from Sergei Tarnosi if he can get his breath back.
Sergei, what do you feel about this race?
It's my first competition. After 3 years of rest, I can say like this, and it's very hard for me.
But you did it, so congratulations for your win.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Can I?
See a slight difference. Pimenta had a lot to say. Moldovan winner.
1 minute.
He said it's been a long time since back in competitive racing. Man, a few words, but certainly did his talking on the water. It was Bar of France who led for the majority, but in the end, as the ducks quacked, so was his race cooked. Successful Moldovan Tarnosi, showing that he's number one here in Szeged. So the women's 1,000 meter final, K1.
So here is the start list for the K1 women 1,000 meters A final. On lane 1, Jelena Mironchenko from Russia. On lane 2, Chikos Zsófa, Magyarország. On lane
Last year, the world gold went to Tamara Sipes of Hungary. She's not managed to make it to this final, but Hungary with 2 athletes hoping to manage what she did. Sisoka Siskos in lane 2, just ahead of Elena Mironchenko. None of the podium from a year ago in the race, just Tina Iskerska of Poland and Lizzie Broughton of Great Britain are able to make it. Getting ready for the start of the K1 Women 1,000 meter final. Esther Rendesi in lane 5, the second place silver medalist at the 2018 Summer Youth Olympics. She managed something better here. So underway here, the K1 Women 1,000 meter final. Laura, Georgiana, Pleska and Barbora Galadova of Romania and the Czech Republic being left behind in lanes 8 and 9. And it is almost a straight line from 2 to 7. Siskos, Russia's Svetlana, Chernigovskaya, Norway's Maria Verrik, Vendessa, Germany's Carola Schmidt, just edging her boat ahead with America's Caitlin McElroy in lane 7. No one yet electing to push on with Carola Schmidt so far leading out the field. So 23-year-old German leading the way. Most managing to keep a certain amount of pace with her, but it's Esther Rendesi who's keeping pace with the eagle-eyed focus of Schmidt. And it so far looks like being a battle between Schmidt and Rendesi. And it's Rendesi now really seeing her rock the boat as she puts everything into her stride. And Schmidt, at least at this point, not responding. Maybe hoping the Hungarian will tire herself out. Still looks like being a battle between those two, but a line of 3 boats to their left, still somewhat within contention. Sisoka, Siskos, Svetlana, Chernigovskaya and Maria Virik of Norway, but at the moment it's Rendesi who is pushing ahead. Schmidt now turning up the heat. Just over a second Rendesi has in her pocket, the young Hungarian. Schmidt with a quick glance over to her left, trying to make the calculations between the gap and what water they have left. At the moment, it looks like third place could be Maria Virik. She certainly has the edge at the moment, but it's Rendesi who's looking to try and make it a second Hungarian win of the afternoon. Looking to follow on from the terrific win of Anna Lutz. Schmidt tried to battle back, but it looks like she's got too much to do. And it's Hungarian gold once again. Germany second, and it is Virik third for Norway. A terrific victory. 23-year-old Rendesi. It was Schmidt who went strongest first. Rendesi then took over the lead. And the German could not reel her back in.
So the winner of the K1 Women 1000 meters A-final, Rendesi Eszter, Magyarország.
A delight for the Hungarian hosts. It's another gold. mentioned, had success at the 2018 Summer Youth Olympics. Now starting to make the grade at the senior level and winning by a comfortable margin in the end. Had a little look, but the youngster, the brilliant performance. She was a gold medalist in Buenos Aires 2018 at those Youth Olympics. Esther Rendesi. She proved too fast for Slovakia's Katarina Pekusova in that final. And this time too fast for Schmidt. In the end, 1.18 seconds. Carola Schmidt was in arrears. A brilliant performance from Esther Rendesi to go sub 4 minutes. Maria Virik coming out on top. The three-way battle for third with Svetlana Chernogovskaya and Soka Siskos of Hungary. Even kids wheeling themselves around. Obviously see sun shining now. Certainly while it's a shame to not have a full house here in Szeged. Brilliant to see the smiles back, as well as competitive canoe and kayak sprints. Already fully packed afternoon of action. The K1 men 1,000 meter medal ceremony will be next on our to-do list. Exactly 1 year, for the first time in the history of canoes and kayaks, it will be possible to win both Olympics and a world title in the same year. When the ICF Canoe Sprint World Champions take place in Denmark. And a particular highlight, and a big year for Danish Canoe and Kayak Association. They'll be celebrating their 100th anniversary in 2021. ICF Canoe Sprint and Paracanoe World Championships will take place a few weeks after the postponed Olympic Games. An historic opportunity for the competitors. Historic moment. K1 men 100, 1,000 meters, should say. If it was 100, they certainly have had to put so much effort into it.
Awarding ceremony for K1 men 1,000 meters. The medals are presented by Mr. Endre Apáti, Vice President of the Hungarian Canoe Federation. Bronze medalist at the 2020 ICF Canoe Sprint World Cup, Varga Ádám, representing Magyarország, Hungary.
As mentioned, the Hungarian 2-3 in the men's K1 1,000 meter. Terrific performance from Adam Varga.
Silver medalist Kopasz Bálint, representing Magyarország, Hungary.
Colin Kopasz. He was the golden boy a year ago. Still the reigning world champion. But here the World Cup. Demoting to silver. He gave his rival a lead that he hoped to reel in, just couldn't manage it. And the man who finished with a bronze a year ago, as he put it, Pimenta is back and up for the gold. A couple of more competitions this weekend for him to compete in. He says he's still got some left in the tank. He had over a 2-second lead.
The medalist
Points.
of the ICF Canoe Sprint World Cup in 2020. Congratulations.
In the end, Fernando Pimenta. He did see Kopasz come back at him. In the end, a comfortable winner. All green on the podium, but it's Portugal who shine brightest, as Pimenta certainly enjoying the moment. Perfection from the Portuguese Pimenta as he takes the K1 men 1,000 meter gold. Next, hear the roar of Pimenta. Could yet be the rest of the week here to make sure he gets some souvenirs of his own from this terrific gold win. Collector's item for Pimenta. Turn to the competition from 1 to 2 in the boats. Next up, the K2 men 500 meter final. Crowd certainly haven't been disappointed with competition on show today. Next race just 4 minutes away. K2 men's 500 meter final.
So the K2 men 500 meters A final will start at 12:42. This is the next race. In Szeged.
So here is the lineup for the final. It was only last year And the Spanish duo of Pelayo Rosa and Pedro Vaquez took silver medal at the World Championships last year. The Belgian duo who took gold, Stanislaw Dereka, Dimitri Tchik, world champions, not making this final. So lane 2, Spaniards will be the ones to watch. Plenty of home hopes. We see the French duo of Kayak, Guillaume Lefoc, Décorchement. There is the reigning world silver medalists, their compatriots, just a boat across, Albert Marti and Roy Rodriguez. Roy Rodriguez himself finished 9th in the K1 1,000 meter final a year ago. This time pairing up. Hungary with their boats side by side. Gargeli Balog, Maximilian Zendi beside Balint Noe and Matthias Kolesar. It was Germany that took the bronze medal 2019 World Championships, but no Marcus Gross or Martin Hiller. This time as Maximilian Zaremba and Jonas Drager take up the 2 positions. And we're underway at this K2 500 meter final. That's the 3 boats on the far side, France, and the 2 Spanish boats starting quickest. There's not an awful lot in it, although just sneaking ahead are the Spaniards in lane 2. Pelayo Rosa and Pedro Vasquez looking to upgrade from their silver last year. But there's a bit of competition right down bottom of your screen in lane 9. The Serbians, Nikola Rasulik and Vladimir Torubarov, not too far behind. Gritted teeth from the competitors. At this point, focusing on themselves, but eventually there'll be nervous looks left and right to get an idea of whether they need to kick it up a gear. But it's the Spaniards who keep their nose in front, but here come their compatriots, Marti and Rodriguez. It's going to be certainly a very tight finale. It's the Spanish that look beat a 1-2, but it's lane 3 that takes the gold. At least it looked like it. But what a turn up that would be for Albert Marti and Roy Rodriguez. As he said, Rodriguez a year ago taking part individually in the K1 1,000 meters, half the distance, and even a friend to boot to help, and certainly may have made a difference, because while it was Rosa Vasquez Jenin who looked to have the edge in the final furlong, despite the pressure on the far side from the Serbians, although the Italians as well, Julio Bernocchi and Luca Boscolo Menegulo, just see them coming in here, and it does look like Marti and Rodriguez and potentially the Italians onto the podium, but it was certainly a tight finish. But Rodriguez and Marti looked like they knew that they'd taken triumph in a brilliant Spanish 1-2. No mean feat for Bernocchi and Boscolo Menenguolo to tiptoe into third. Well, the compatriots locking out the first two positions on the podium, but it's not the reigning world silver medalist. They again finished second. There is confirmation, although still yet to be fully stamped. In official results we see that Martín Rodriguez 0.17 seconds ahead of Rosa Vázquez Janin. It's the Italians that pipped the Hungarian duo of Schnede and Balog. So no home canoeists on display, as it is a Spain 1-2, an Italian third place finish. Spectacular from Spain.
As you can see on the flags, it's still windy.
You can certainly see the challenge for competitors.
Not the most ideal weather.
Strong winds, although the sun has poked its eye out since the overcast start to the day.
Next race is going to start at 12:51.
So as you may have heard, the women's C1 500 meter final to follow. Let's hear from our winners.
Hard race.
The men's 500 meter K2.
The other K2 of his plane was first, but at the end we were able to step up the paddle. We were first the last 100 meters, but they were very hard. We didn't have very much strength to get to the finish line, but we made it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Brief words from the triumphant Spanish pairing. Certainly Serbia had made a punt for the podium. Strong ride from Rasulik and Torubarov, but eventually finishing sixth. Koch and Lefloch finishing fifth for France. The Hungarians pushed back into fourth as Martín Rodriguez slapped the boat with pure elation at pipping their compatriots Rosa Vázquez Janin to gold. World silver medalists having to settle for second once again, with Bernocchi and Boscolo Menenguolo taking a well-earned third place finish. So here we have the lineup for the C1 Women's 500 meter Final A. Vanessa Tot of Croatia. Hungarian hopes with Giada Bragato. Spain again, looking for another medal with Maria Rivera. She's just saddled in beside the Ukrainian pair, Olena Sikankova and Lyudmila Luzan back on the water. Hungarian hopes, another young gun from Hungary. Bragato. is Luzan, who only just lost out to the brilliant Nevin Harrison, had led just to the end, pipped by 0.02 seconds, as we saw earlier in the day in that C1 200 meter final. Will she have plenty left in the tank for this? As you see, the other home hope, Sofia Kizvan in lane 8, with Moldova's Maria Olarasu hoping to follow in the footsteps, paddle splashes of her compatriot. Ready to get underway. Certainly strong options from the Ukrainians in lanes 5 and 6. There goes Luzan, and straight off. Well, she doesn't look like she'd been on the water earlier in the day. Absolutely steaming ahead. Currently in second in lane 4, Maria Corbera of Spain. At the moment, it's Luzan who is streaks ahead. Bronze medalists at the 2018 European Championships. And certainly if she's given American teenage sensation Harrison a run for her money, it bodes well for the 23-year-old from Ivano-Frankivsk in Ukraine. Well, this certainly more her kettle of fish. That bronze in 2018 in Belgrade at the European Championships at this discipline. And she is absolutely dominating. Well, now it's a three-way battle for second. See just to the right of Luzan, Stefanica Ursu of Romania. Suddenly putting some pressure on with Maria Corbera starting to struggle in lane 4, the Spaniard. Just seeing Chiara Bragato edge ahead of her. It looks like it's Bragato and Ursu battling for second, but there is no one in the field to get near Luzan. Well, Harrison pipped her in the final of the 200 meters, and she's not to be denied here. This time all alone for a brilliant finish. Just waiting for confirmation. It was really never in doubt for Mila Luzan. Smiles, thumbs up as there was between her and Harrison in the 200-meter final. What a performance, considering she'd already been on the water. Just blew the field away. Straight from the off. It really only took a few strides to put the rest in her wake. Maria Corbera, I should say, started well, the Spaniard, but she faded to allow Chiara Bragato of Hungary and Ursu of Romania to get back into the fight. In the end, it was the Romanian who came through for second, ahead of her rival, but it's Luzan. Look at the relief even of making sure she does leave with a gold medal. But equal delight for a podium place There it is. Luzan, a massive 3.69 second advantage over an ecstatic Stefanica Ursu. Maria Corbera did manage to find a little bit deep to outstrip Olena Tizyankova, who finishes agonizingly just off the podium. Golden boat for a golden girl. It's Luzan who takes top spot on the podium for Ukraine. Spain having to settle for bronze medal. Maria Corbera was never close to Luzan. She did lose out to Stefanica Ursu, the Romanian taking silver medal, and look what that meant to her. Absolute joy. Corbera settling for the bronze, but it's the golden girl of Ukraine who's all smiles. Thumbs up with Harrison when she was beaten by 0.02 seconds, this time dominant in winning by a gap of nearly 4 seconds, as we now wait for the K1 men 200 meter medal ceremony, and then our final 3 races of the afternoon feed: C2 men 500 meter, the K2 women 500 meter, and finishing off with the K1 men's 500 meter final.
Ladies and gentlemen, medal awarding ceremony for K1 men 200 meters. Medal awarding ceremony for K1 men 200 meters. The medals are presented by Mr. Luciano Bonfilio, Treasurer of the International Canoe Federation. Bronze medalist at the 2020 ICF Canoe Sprint World Cup, Marko Dragosavljevic, representing Serbia.
Well, the Serbian was certainly pick out for potential winner. He was the quickest in qualifying, but Marko Dragosavljevic eventually settling for bronze medal.
Silver medalist Csizmadia Kolos, representing Magyarország, Canoe.
Well, a superb result, all of Csizmadia of Hungary, in a field that included Olympic silver medalist Maxim Gomo. Superb result.
Gold medalist Andrea Domenico Di Liberto, representing Italy.
But it was the Italian who was electric on the water. Andrea Domenico Di Liberto with a stunning ride. He started strong and he finishes with a golden smile.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medalists of the ICF Canoe Speed World Cup in 2020. Congratulations!
All smiles for Di Liberto, impressing in a very, very strong field and taking the gold. Well, it is Drago Savilovic of Serbia, who is favourite alongside Maxime Beaumont, but in the end the Frenchman didn't even make the podium. Brilliant silver for Kolos Simaria, but even better for the Italian Andrea Domenico Di Liberto. More medals for Hungary here in Szeged, the home of canoeing. And it was K1 200 meter joy for Italian Di Liberto, liberating the pressure from a very strong start. And he had enough in the tank to see himself through. Colourful glasses, and a roar of delight.
Campeones del mundo año pasado aquí en la pista de Szeged y aquí la verdad intentaron
See
tomar
the Spanish press
la revancha final.
talking to victors in the men's K2 500 meter final. Rodriguez looking away for the pair. Edged out world silver winners and compatriots Laio Rosa and Pedro Velasquez. Still got that silver feeling, those two. We're back to the pairings. For our first canoe double, as we await the C2 men 500 meter final. So here we have it, the C2 men 500 meter final A start list. So Hungarians out first with Jonathan Hadju and Adam Fekete, hoping for some more home glory. Just saw an Italian wearing gold. Certainly Daniele Santini, his partner in crime, Talai Krajkian, hoping to do well. 24-year-old Jonathan Hadju, a silver medalist in this competition a year ago. Alongside his partner Adam Fekete. So they'll definitely be hoping for more. The gold medalist from 12 months ago was the Chinese pairing of Li Qiang and Xing Song. They are not in attendance.
Lane 5, Russia. Lane 6.
As we see the Romanians in lane 6. We then see the bronze medalists from 12 months ago, Sete Benavides and Antoni Segura. So the silver bronze medalists from last year's World Championships in Szeged to battle once again, but without the world champions in their way.
1 minute to the start.
Certainly Europe often dominating the world of canoeing, but New World certainly starting to really make their mark. And it really is going to be a sensational Tokyo Games for canoeing, kayaking, sprints. And with the World Championships not long after, it's going to be some year. This, the biggest meet internationally for the sport in Szeged after COVID disrupted 2020. It's a real chance to blow off the cobwebs and get right stuck into competitive C2 500 meters here for the men. So in this final, silver and bronze medalists from 12 months ago. A little bit of confusion with the start though. It's the first full start we've had of the afternoon. You can actually see though, there was a little bit of confusion because I think it was Jonathan Hadju and Adam Ketty looked like they might have thought somehow it wasn't a restart. They started putting on the burners before they made clear it absolutely was a false start. Now, a little bit of extra time for nerves. They're all pretty even as they came out, so really hard to see with the human eye. Either way, we won't be delighted to be using unnecessarily some energy to get back into position. Started cloudy here in Szeged. The sun had popped out, but hovering around the 17-degree mark, and certainly the wind has been challenging. Seen the flags bristling in it. Earlier in the day, certainly it was around 14 kilometers an hour. Complaints of it being a headwind, certainly not making it any easier. We saw Luzan of Ukraine add to her earlier silver with gold in the C1 Women 500 meters. Can her compatriots of Italia Marieles and Denis Kamaridlov. So is the Romanians.
Warning for lane 5 and lane 6.
So it's
warning for lane 5 and lane 6.
As you can hear there, Viktor Melantev and Mikhail Pavlov of Russia, and Katalin Chirila and Victor Michalaci of Romania. The two boats have been given a warning for that false start as Hungary hungry for more success on the Szeged water. Back towards their position. So lanes 5 and 6, Russia and Romania, with a warning for their false start. Slowly but surely, competitors return for a second attempt at getting this C2 men 500 meter final underway. underway successfully at the second attempt. Just trying to get up and running. At the moment it is the Hungarians, Ju and Fekete, who have the edge, as we see in the far side of the picture. Italians, Kukian and Santini, currently second, and it's a close run thing between Romania and Spain in 6 and 7. But the Hungarians are done. Well, that's incredible. Adu and Fekete, one of them's in the water, and suddenly, from having the silver medalist from 12 months ago, one of the favourites for the title, they are gone, leaving a huge gaping hole for the rest to fill. Alciete, Benavides and Segura of Spain would automatically be who you'd pick for gold, but it's yet to be seen if they can convert. That Spanish duo in lane 7. At the moment, it looks like it's the Italians that are bursting through. And here come the Romanians in lane 6, but it's Italy who take the gold. I think the pictures suggest it's the Ukrainian silver and Romanian bronze. That will remain to be seen, but the Italians have come through for the gold. No sign of last year's bronze medalist Segura and Benavides. Nothing sure about their performance, but what a disaster for the host Hungary. Silver medalist 12 months ago in the World Championships at the C2 men 500 meter final. But incredibly, look at this, some kind of miscalculation, off balance. It's Fekete that's into the water. Dramatic stuff here, but Italy won't care. Nikolai Krakuyan and Daniele Santini, they managed to keep themselves dry in their canoe and power to gold. The beating heart of Italy with a gold medal to celebrate ahead of the Romanian duo, Ukraine with third. The two big shocks, Benavides and Segura finishing sixth, but the big news, Hadu and Fekete out after a fall from Fekete. Well, moving on swiftly, it's the women's K2 500 meter final. Well, they'll be hoping for better in that now seemingly unlucky lane 1. It's the Hungarian duo of Sabina Silka and Vanda Zupko. Really dramatic scenes. Fair for this final. K2 500 meters. Well, Hungary, the reigning Olympic champions at this discipline, Gabriela Szabo and Danuta Kozak. With a brilliant victory over Franziska Weber, Tina Ditza of Germany. Poland took third there, but none of them here in the Szeged final. Ready to get underway, and off we go. None of the winners from last year's World Championships in the field either. It was Belgian who took gold, Marina Venchuk and Vola Zenka, but this time in lane 5, Hermien Peters and Liz Broek, hoping to repeat their trick from 12 months ago. Pretty even at the moment. But it is the Russians in lane 4 who have nose advantage. Elena Anioshina and Kira Stepanov. And so far, with a not too bad lead ahead of their compatriots. In lane 2, Kristina Kovnier and Anastasia Dalgova. So it's a Russian 1-2 going into the final straight. Coming in, the Belgians now heading back. Peters and Broek pushing the Russians hard. And they look like they could have the momentum going to the line. It's Russia against Belgium. And the Belgians have stolen a march. And a phenomenal finish from the Belgian pairing of Peters and Broek. They had the power and strength to outstrip the Russian duo. Superb performance. Everyone managing to stay dry in their kayaks. A little bit more safety than we saw in the men's Canoe 2 final. The Russians looked in a very strong position. In the end, it's the Belgians who came through to win by half a boat length. Brilliant performance. Broke with a 6th place finish in the 2015 European Games in Baku. Senior K1 5,000 meter, 13th in the K1 500, but this time part of a duo that have taken gold here in Szeged World Cup. So it's the Belgians pipping the Russians who block out the rest of the podium. Austria 4th, Hungary only managing 5th, with Ukraine, Hungary, Ukraine and Spain making up the results of the K2 Women 500 meter final.
Yeah, the winner, Daniele, Nicole. How does it feel?
Yeah, we have a good feeling. For us, this is we have tried this two only 1 week. Last week we don't race together in 5 years. The last time when we raced together is 5 years ago, and we are very happy for this result. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, incredible to hear. 5 years since they'd ridden together, and yet they look 2 peas in a pod as they took gold in a final that somewhat disrupted, or certainly from the pre-race narrative, as the Hungarian duo of Haju and Fekete did not finish. Fekete into the water. Here are the Belgian winners.
Yeah, the start is always the weakest point, so we know that we have to do it in the end. And we are completely dead, but in one way or another, we always manage to
keep on going.
to go even faster. So it's really nice.
And you made it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Make it, they did. As you heard there, aware that they're not the best starters, but my oh my, did they finish with aplomb. The Russians looked fine fettle for a potential 1-2. In the end, downgraded to a 2-3. Yoshina and Stepanova, easy for me to say, in front of their compatriots Kovnir and Torgova, but usurped by Peters and Brook, who celebrate Belgian gold. The relief, even in fatigue.
Mindegy. Figyelj, 56. Szabina, 7, mindegy. Lányok ott voltak a döntőben 18 évesen. Se.
Disappointment for the Hungarians. Salak and Zupko. But they'll be hoping for final flourish here in the K1 men 500 meter final. Once again, it's a head-to-head between Fernando Pimenta and Hungary's Balint Kopash. They've already knocked heads together earlier in the day. And it was Portuguese glory as Pimenta winning the K1 1000. Kalash Birkas, another in the home colours. Here is Pimenta. Can he show he's got something left in the tank? After winning earlier in the day. Silver medalist at the 2012 London Olympics, for that again at the 1,000 metres. Certainly kind of the longer distances, but Kopash, he let Pimenta out of his sight. Didn't have enough time to overtake him. See how it works on a shorter distance. Last time Pimenta actually medalled at this distance. This in 2018 in Belgrade with a bronze medal. Certainly more suited to the longer distances, as is 23-year-old Balint Kopash. Kopash, the K1 1000 meter world champion, last medal at this distance, himself a bronze at the European Championships in Plovdiv. So, rare chance to see these two compete at this distance. But is there a shocker in the field to stop Pimenta? Certainly got to try and take advantage of the effort they've already put in to today. Francis Muguet certainly trying to keep pace. See the colourful nose of Pimenta keeping up with Alessandro Necci of Italy. But here comes the Hungarian hope, Balint Kopash, not waiting around at this shorter distance. Certainly looked in powerful form, but just gave Pimenta too much room out front. And this time, it does look like Kopash is in a strong position, but Pimenta hasn't given up on it. But Kopash with decent looking advantage. He's trying to stretch it. Pimenta just dragging on, but you can see at the far side, Balázs Berkas is certainly looking for a place on the podium. It looks like being a Hungary double again on the podium, but this time it's not going to be Pimenta separating them, and it is going to be Balázs Kopash. Pimenta just holding on for second, and it's Hungarian hunger that takes Kopash to gold. Pimenta certainly didn't have the same explosive starts as he did in winning the 1,000-meter final. And this time, it was the powerful Kopash that gives the partisan Hungarians something to cheer. Well, she's absolutely delighted. Home win for Kopash after his silver medal earlier in the day. And a Hungarian 1-3 this time. Balázs Berkas just slipping in behind Pimenta, who almost lost that second place. It's absolutely shattered by the end. Certainly, he spoke about after his 1,000-meter win, the difficulties with an interrupted and cancelled season, feeling the sadness of reduced crowds, but also delighted to be back in competitive competition. This time, Kopash with just too much power to burn and winning by just over a boat length. Pimenta just holding on for second. Berkas of Hungary joining his compatriot Kopash on the podium. And a brilliant end to a terrific day. This top class canoeing kayaking returns to Szeged after a difficult 2020 for everyone. Shake of the head from Pimenta. Well, hopefully for lip readers, certainly an angry response. Fernando Pimenta unable to be golden once again, this time 2 seconds behind Balázs Kopash, who takes gold for Hungary. Balázs Berkas in third.
Balint, winner of the 500 meter, how do you feel?
Yes, it was a strong leading wind. I like a strong leading wind, and it was a very good race. Very strong opponents. For example, Pimenta. He is the biggest opponent for me. Yeah, it was a very good race in Szeged. I like this atmosphere. Yes.
And winner in your country, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, always tough to manage to get the interview out from the exertion put in, but brilliant from Kopash to round off an excellent day here in Szeged. Started with Hungarian gold and ended just the same. Thanks for joining us here. More action tomorrow. Join us for that. Until then, goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, medal awarding ceremony for C1 men 1000 meters.